We all go through some pretty tough times over the course of our lives, don't we? We're fortunate to have the examples and inspiration of brave and tenacious people who have survived terrible times before us, and we can learn a lot from them. Today, I want to share with you a story from the Irish potato famine of the 1840s and 50s, which is one of the most devastating periods of Irish history. Estimates say that between 1 million and 1.5 million Irish people died of hunger during that time, and some 2 million more were displaced and emigrated away from the country. This story is found in this book, Glórtha and Ghorta, which means Voices from the Famine by Cathal Portéir. And I'll put this, it's all in Irish, but if you read Irish, it's a wonderful resource. I'll put it in the notes below. The story was told by a man called Tomás O'Conaitheoir, who lived in Kilcuin, Dingle, County Kerry, and he was born somewhere around 1864, so just after the famine had ended, more or less, but during the time when the effects of the famine were being very much felt in Ireland, as they would be for decades to come. This story, I think, is beautiful and meaningful, and it can teach us a lot about the virtues and values that best support us during challenging times. So I'm excited to share it with you. So, fáilte a chairde, welcome, my friends, fáilte chrí, welcome from my heart. I'm so delighted to be with you as ever, so excited to share stories with you. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Kate, and I'm a professor of Irish language and folklore, and it's just a great joy and honor for me to share the treasures of Irish folklore with you, because I really think they help us to live more joyful, more creative, and really more loving lives. So welcome. Well, let me tell you this story and then let's talk it over. I'm going to start it the way Tomás himself, our storyteller, Tomás O'Conaitheoir, started it. Fadó, in aimsir and Ghorta, long ago, in the time of the famine, there was an old man who had a cabbage patch. He had a cabbage patch, not very big, and every day, every morning, people would come and ask him to share cabbage. They were very hungry. All of his neighbors were so hungry, and they would come and ask this old man to share cabbage with them. And he did. He did. Leaf after leaf, he shared the cabbage out the best he could, and people were delighted. And of course, as people were delighted and grateful, even bigger crowds came. Every morning he was faced with huge crowds of people, and he did his very best to share the cabbage leaves with them to help. Well, other people said to him, you know, if you keep sharing this way, you're going to eventually run out. And when you run out, you're just going to be another hungry person, and you won't have enough for yourself. And he said, no matter what they said, he said, as long as I have a single cabbage leaf to share, I won't turn away one hungry person. And so he didn't. And little by little, he noticed something strange and wonderful. Every morning, he would glean every available cabbage leaf and share it with the hungry neighbors. And the next morning, he would come back into the cabbage patch to greet the huge crowd, and every leaf of cabbage was regrown, and there was just as much to share every morning. And so he helped many people stay alive during the famine. And after that time, people called him the cabbage gardener of goodwill and charity. Sorry, that just touches my heart so much. That is a beautiful story, isn't it? There's so many things to take from that story, and I really will be interested to hear what you have to say. But I'd love to share with you a few things that I take away from this man's example. One of them is decide that there will be enough, and there will be enough. That is a true miracle. Now, you could just put this another way. Decide there will be a way to solve this problem, and there will be a way to solve this problem. Decide that you'll find your way through this hardship, and you will find your way through this hardship. There's something so powerful about this man's will, his decision. He has decided there will be enough, and somehow that is enough to create enough. And I know that can sound naive. I know people will say, but Kate, the money will run out. But have you ever had that experience of the money runs out and there's something else? I've certainly had that experience, that you think you've scraped the very bottom of the barrel and something else turns up. There's something about that decision, that positive direction, that does engage miracles. So you decide that there will be enough, and there will be enough. He managed that. Also, to act from our best and highest principles. We know certain things are right. We know they are right. Now, even when this man is told, you won't have enough, you need to think about yourself, he steadfastly decides, I'm going to give everything I can. I know people will say that is naive, but I know it's also right that we act from our best and highest principles, and never more than in tough times. That is maybe the key to survival, maybe. So there's an invitation to be cynical, I think, in our whole world, again and again. Oh yeah, I mean, I've been told many times, Kate, you don't live in the real world. Well, I don't live in that world maybe, but I live in a world where people really are kind, and where there is enough, and where we do find a way. And I think you do too. So that, I love that decision he's made. Another thing I take from this is the decision to be a part of things, to be a part of your community, your neighborhood, the people around you. It's so easy to withdraw into just that, looking out for ourselves. And this man has decided that the right thing is to think about people, think about other people, that the suffering of those around us. We can't always, I want to be clear, as hard as it is, we can't always have a direct influence on the suffering of others, much as we would like to. But we keep them in mind. We look for ways. We do our bit. And this man's decision to be a part of his community saves so many lives. And in my view, every good thing we have in this world comes from that perspective. Every good thing. You think about hospitals. You think about libraries, museums, schools, food banks, community projects. All of these things are created by people who may never benefit from them themselves, who may never actually even see them come to fruition. That decision to act from that wider perspective creates honest-to-goodness miracles. It's really amazing. It makes me feel awe and the deepest gratitude. Finally, a thing I take from this story is to give what you have to give. This man has cabbage, and that's what he can share. Someone else has something else. Someone else can share songs or stories. Someone else can share a kind word. Someone else can share a little bit of physical help. We give what we have to give, meaning what is ours to give. What I think is amazing here is that this man has given everything, and he has not been hungry himself. Now, I know we always say, you know, put the mask on yourself first and all of that. And I think that is important to note here, is that somehow in the sharing, there's plenty for this man. We give what we have to give, what is ours to give, what is in our power to give. He doesn't go hungry. So somehow the miracle includes him. I love that. Finally, when I think about what is the miracle here, the miracle, of course, is generosity itself in a hard time. The real miracle, I mean, it's a beautiful miracle, the idea of the food growing, of these cabbages growing back. But I think the real miracle is that during a tough time, a time of constriction and limitation, someone decided to think of others and be generous. And that is everything. So I hope you like that story. I hope it touches you in some way. I'd love to hear your counsel, because I know for a fact that you have wisdom about how to come through tough times. What are the virtues and values that help you during tough times? Please share with us. It really does matter. I think a lot of us, I read the comments with great enthusiasm and gratitude, and I think a lot of people do here. So share your wisdom. Tell us. And please do, as ever, like this video. It truly helps me. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel. It's free, and you'll get a little bit of a notice when I've made a new video. And we really love to have you. Honestly, the community of people who have gathered around this folklore are like the loveliest people on earth. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I'm so grateful for you today, for your company, and that you've spent this time with me. And I'm wishing you a week of miracles. I'll see you next week, my friends. Slán na nish. Goodbye for now.